Good morning. This is going to be a fun day. Today we're going to talk about shoes and feet and recycling and reusing and what they have to do with each other. Kind of weird, right? So I'm going to do a STEM activity or a STEAM activity today about shoes. And what I'm challenging you guys to do is make a shoe from newspaper and tape. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take a shoe off and check out how it's made. So you want to look at the sole, you want to look at the upper part and see how those things are made, maybe the tongue, see how it all goes together. And then you are going to, with that information, you might want to write down some notes about what you think is important about shoe design. Look at the way that it's shaped. And think about also what a shoe is meant to do. So it's meant to protect the bottom of our foot from getting punctured, right, by rocks or whatever else might be on the ground. And it's also meant to protect our toes and the softer parts of our feet. And it's also supposed to open and close so that we can slide our foot in, lace it up, hold it on there, and then also be able to undo it and slip our foot back out. So those are all important things to know when you're designing a shoe. Now, when you're looking at doing newspaper shoes, you're probably, because newspaper is very thin, it's not really supposed to be made for shoes, right? But that's the challenge. So it's really thin, so you're going to want to use thicknesses. So you may have to fold the newspaper several times, give it a little more thickness. Think about what paper is made from. It's made from trees, right, which are really strong. So if we keep folding paper, we can give it a lot more strength. We're just putting the fibers back together, basically. So the way that I started out was by folding over. I used a couple of newspapers and stacked them on top of each other once I folded them. Then I traced around my shoe, so I had kind of a template to go by. Now, be very careful about what you choose to trace around your shoe. I would use a pencil or a crayon, something that will show up on the newspaper, but you also don't want to stain your shoes because some markers would be really hard to get off of, say, white parts of a shoe. So I just used a washable marker. I wasn't worried about it. But for you guys, I would say crayon might be the best bet. Once you've got that traced, you want to cut out the shape that you find. And then you've got all of these very weak edges. So I took tape and kind of went in a spiral around that footbed part of the shoe. And then I also went around the edges to tape that up and reinforce it. Now, the kind of shoe that you guys make is completely up to you. I went for a slipper because I was looking for something that wouldn't take a whole lot of time. But if you want to get really fancy, you could make a boot. You could try to make a high top. You could make a high heel if you want to. Try whatever you want. And maybe challenge your friends to see if, who can make the best design. And if you're really into art, this is a great opportunity too to design something that's good to look at too. Because we all like shoes that are cool, right? Cool looking. So this is my slipper. One of the other constraints that I want you to think about is that you have to be able to walk in the shoe. So make sure that you can walk in your shoe. Try it out. It's lots of fun. Speaking of shoes, we all kind of use up or grow out of our shoes. You guys probably grow out of your shoes more than use them up. And the cool thing about it is there are many opportunities for people to reuse your shoes. People in need might need your gently used shoe that maybe you can't wear anymore. So sharing is part of reusing. It's one of my very favorite things to do to save the earth. We're actually having a collection right now called Recycle Heart and Soul, where you can bring your used shoes to us at our office in the town hall at door 4, just inside door 4, or some schools are participating in this as well. So check out to see if your school is participating and tie the shoes together if they have shoestrings. If they don't, rubber band them together for us. That helps a lot. And the other thing you can do if you miss out on that is take them to Goodwill. Look for sports equipment recycling swaps amongst your friends. Those are good to do as well. And the other thing that's cool about used shoes, if they are not usable for a person, they can be recycled. The soles have been recycled to make running tracks, and they can also make other really useful things out of shoes. If you're looking to buy new shoes, there are some shoes that have been made from recycled pop bottles, sustainable wool, which is a really good breathable thing to have as a shoe. And who knew? Who knew shoes were all about the earth? And of course, because I like to read, if you like to read too, and you have some younger people in your house, we love Pete the Cat. And this is all about Pete the Cat's shoes and how they change colors depending on what kind of mess he gets into. So you could decorate your shoes too. You could make them any color you want. You could maybe see what happens when you mix colors too. Have fun with it. Enjoy.